Oh, you're a good boy. I'm not a digital artist and I haven't attempted to draw anything in an anime or manga style since high school, but I do know a thing or two about drawing faces and being self-taught. So when I saw that Pewdiepie is teaching himself how to draw, I thought that was really cool. I ended up watching the first few seconds and I thought, no, I needed to react to this instead. So from the title, you'll know that I'm a traditional artist. I paint and draw portraits for a living. I've been doing this for over 6 years now professionally, and literally everything that I do I am completely self-taught. So that's basically what I do. Also, I think it's really cool if you just learn a new creative skill just because you want to, especially how he says that he's teaching himself to draw for no reason. I just think it's cool to have that kind of creative outlet.
In fact, here's a self-portrait of me when I was 6 years old.
No, honestly, that is so real.
And I know what you're thinking.
I think we all have like self-portraits that we did when we were a kid that look like that.
What if I learn to draw? Then I can compare what I drew at the beginning and then compare with the end and be like, wow.
I think just trying a new skill, like a creative skill, I think that's pretty good. And especially with drawing as well, it's something you can definitely see a progress in, like if you just apply yourself.
Because I thought every day I'm gonna learn to draw a different body part. That was a bad idea.
I don't think it's a bad idea. I sometimes see comments in like YouTube videos where people are like, I want to learn how to draw but I don't know what to draw. So I think it's good that he's gone into this with the idea of knowing kind of like what he wants to do and like what he wants to learn. I think that's quite a strong starting point. Regardless of someone's technical skill, like how well they can draw, I think just having the idea of like knowing what you want to do. And also another point, sketchbooks are meant to look like this. They're meant to be literally like sketches of ideas, and half the time it's gonna look like shit anyway. So I'm not saying that his does, but I'm just saying, like, for me personally, like half my sketchbook it kind of looks okay, like I can present it to people, but then the other half is like just swatches and me thinking I can do some really cool angle and stuff, and it honestly just looks terrible.
The goal of this was not to just draw a lot, but rather just draw a little bit every day.
That's a really good habit to have. Even if you can't spare like a lot of time to draw, like even just like a 15-minute, 20-minute sort of like sketch you can do. It just gets you in that habit and it just kind of keeps you going.
Day 6 is just in pain. I was so frustrated trying to understand this method of drawing a circle, like and then I drew my it's more pain. Just
but
I was so mad at drawing these. So infuriated.
What did I write?
I'm not gonna lie though, like
Sarah
just
Stir.
like the whole ad, but he drew it. I think that's pretty
Anyway,
cool.
use code.
I'm not following any reference or anything. I'm just drawing based on what I learned.
I definitely do think you do still need to have a reference if you're gonna be just sketching. I know there's people out there who's like you need to know the basics and you need to know how to do this without a reference picture. I'm not really about that. I think like if you want a reference picture you can. The only time I'm against using a reference is if you're just blatantly going to copy but for profit, because that's plagiarism. If you're going to do like an artist copy and you're just doing it in your sketchbook for yourself for practice, that's totally fine because that's for you and you know you're learning and you're like practicing. If you're going to post it on socials, it's polite to credit the original artist. It's just being polite, and you don't really want to be caught out like stealing from another artist and passing it off as your own, because it's not cool.
Day 23, oh god.
And these days do look a little bit similar, so I wonder what his thought process was for each of the sketches, or like each day of the sketches. Only because like the days where he did like the figure sketches and then like the anatomy and like the hands, that was something a little bit different, but it seems like he's gone back to, you know, drawing the faces, but there hasn't been something new or something different that he's added.
I think drawing anime style was just easier somehow, and following a reference was also way easier.
Exactly, just follow a reference. If you're learning something new, if you're learning to draw like a certain face or whatever, just use a reference. It makes it so much more easier and you will progress a lot quicker as well.
These drawings,
yeah,
with some of the first stuff I drew,
see there's the progression that happened. Was it day 23 or 24 where it kind of seemed like he was doing the same thing, and then now it's like, oh, okay.
Goal was to practice 10 minutes a day, because now as a new dad I don't really have to sit down for hours and do anything.
For 10
because 10
every
minutes a
day.
day for bought these markers or pens to fill in. I thought it would automatically make it better, but it was just really hard.
I think as an artist, like we've all been there. We just think we'll get these like brand new art supplies It'll make our work look absolutely amazing.
Like a fraud, like, oh, did I just trick everyone?
I think if you set out to learn a new skill or just doing something and you've been doing it consistently and then you sort of like fall off, I think it's pretty normal to feel like, oh yeah, I've lost momentum, I've lost kind of like what I've learned. It happens all the time with different things, you know, you miss a few days of going to the gym and it's like, oh yeah, I've lost all my progress.
Anyway, I finished the book. I never thought I would.
Good.
So I bought this new one at a local store and it was so shitty. Like the pages are so flimsy.
I definitely think the quality of paper, it impacts your drawing massively. If you've been working on like a good quality paper and then you like look at another sketchbook and then you buy it and you're like, oh, let me get into drawing again, and then you find out the paper isn't good, it really does like throw you off. It is a bit of a weird thing when you're in an art supply shop and you're like feeling the paper just to see that it's okay. I'm not saying that I do it, but I do it.
It's kind of fun to go through these, to be honest. Spend more time on some than others, I guess.
I like that there's actual like variation in all the sketches that he's doing. Like they're all pretty good. Yeah, and like different poses and angles and stuff. I think that's pretty good, and he seems a lot more confident in just the ideas that he has behind the drawings and stuff. I know he says that he's working from a reference, but that's good that he's choosing different poses.
Sort of page per day.
That. I like that he's playing with the different line weights, especially with like the eyes and like the lashes. I think that's a really good technique to do when it comes to drawings. Like if you're using pen or like pencil, if you play around with different line weights, it's so effective.
I know that's kind of weird. I just needed the pose that I wanted to draw. Yeah, and that one too. Makes them come.
I think it's really good that he's experimenting with colour, and it kind of seems like he's swatching all of the colours as well, like as he goes, and I think that's pretty good. I
did yellow, which I really love.
Like his
He's trying out different methods of sort of how to make it interesting.
Just like an illustration, but
red and salmon. I wanted to. It's quite.
I really like that red hair, like how he's doing it looks really good.
Cute. I like I drew something I liked again.
He seems like he's really confident with like, you know, having like movement in the hair, and I think that's really cool. I think hair in itself is so expressive, so I think like if you play around with that, I think that's really cool.
I added this circle to make it more interesting, but I don't know if it was the best idea, to be honest.
Even if it wasn't a good idea, the fact that he had that thought and thought, okay, let me try that, I think that's pretty good, and I think it shows his confidence when it comes to drawing now. He's a bit more comfortable with it, he's being a bit more confident. The main thing is he tried it, he did it, and he figured out what he likes and doesn't like.
Now I just gotta keep going, and then eventually I'll hit my goal. And I'm kind of keeping the same mentality.
That's so weird how he just said that about the gym. When I said that, you just have to keep going, and then even if you do fall off a little bit, you can get back on track. Any type of new skill, like as long as it's fun and you have a sort of like an interest in it and you want to learn and you want to do it, and it just becomes a lot more easier for you. So that was basically my reaction to that. If you like this video and want to see more of my artwork, you can feel free to subscribe. I post videos like time lapses, and at the moment I'm doing the 100 head challenge, so I'm posting shorts as I'm going, and hopefully within like the next week or so I will have the whole 100 heads already drawn up. But it would be amazing if you did subscribe and just followed me on my art journey. Thank you for watching, and I'll catch you all in my next video. Bye!